Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another special feature for Stardew Valley 1.5 here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. On this episode, we're gonna take a look at how you can potentially be making big money farming if you decide to go with the beach farm, as the farming potential of that farm is fairly limited. So in order for us to actually find out how to make big money farming, we're gonna need to do a couple of things. First of all, we're gonna take a look at the weather report. Especially this is important as once you unlock the Fern Islands or the Ginger Islands specifically, you're gonna see a slight change in the weather forecast. It's gonna tell you what's gonna be the weather like in Stardew Valley, and then it's gonna switch and actually show you what's gonna be the weather in the Fern Islands. And in order for us to start making big money farming, and I do realize that this is not exactly the beach farm, especially since you can see so much ancient fruit growing around, we're gonna have to take the farming to the Fern Island or to the island specifically. So what I'm gonna do here is put down some more smelting, and I'm gonna make some sprinklers, some scarecrows. I'm gonna probably have to go and grab what would be a smart idea, the return scepter. And once that is done, we will continue the episode on the island. So stick around with me and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so fun thing, I totally forgot that the return scepter actually requires 2 million gold in order to be purchased. So I'm still gonna have to rely on the warp totem farm. Now, this is the farm which is gonna be making you stupid amounts of money. You see, lots of people do not realize one important feature of this place specifically. It's gonna be always sunny, and it's gonna basically represent an eternal summer. This means that you're gonna be growing a couple of crops here. And you should be growing these crops in case you want to be making big money back at the farm. Obviously, the beach farm has its shortcomings, but thanks to the island itself, you're gonna be able to negate these shortcomings. There is plenty of room for you to expand your farming, and if you will be able to actually get your hands on the hut, for which you will require 20 golden walnuts, you should be able to save your progress so that you don't have to keep running back to your farm and potentially waste time by traveling from the island back to the village or the valley itself. So what I'm gonna do here is clear out most of the debris which I can find, and we're gonna take a look at a potential layout or what you can potentially try to expect of making on this lovely farm, which is now fully available to you. Now obviously, if you are gonna be playing the game with a brand new save, and if you are gonna decide to make it a bit more difficult for you, and you will try to go with the remix bundles so that, for example, the community center will be much more difficult for you to finish, it will depend for each person individually when they will be able to get to the island, because it will take you some time to actually get the bus fixed, and before you fix the bus you cannot get access to the Skull Cavern, and because you need to reach level 100 of Skull Cavern, that is the requirement for you to trigger the event or the mail from a Willy to spawn in your mailbox, which will then allow you to actually gain access to trying to fix the ship. So since we have acquired some rocks, what I like to do is use the cobble path to sort of lay down a sort of a grid pattern. I do love to use grids because they are highly efficient. Now I'm gonna most likely be doing one more feature special video for this type of farm here, but I'm waiting for one thing to happen, so I will see how that works. Unfortunately, my limited hardware does not allow me to record with the mods enabled. This means that I am unable to actually provide you with some of the content that I would truly love to provide you with. So it's gonna take a while for me to actually put together some of these videos, so please bear with me in the meantime. Now when it comes to the grid patterns, I like to actually utilize the iridium quality sprinklers on such massive scales. So what we are gonna be doing is we're gonna be working with the iridium quality sprinklers, which is why I decided to draw in a couple of them. So as you can see, I have some scarecrows, I have some iridium quality sprinklers, and if I am correct to assume about this place what I'm thinking, this place should work as a summer season constantly. Now this can be actually determined from the pineapples or the mangoes or bananas. Fun thing, banana is now gonna be the most valuable fruit from a tree which you can get your hands on. So I highly suggest that you get your hands on some. It should be a bit easier than getting your hands on, for example, the mango, because mango will require 75 mussels for each sapling for you to acquire from the trader. And that might be especially problematic due to the fact that if you do not have plenty of crab pots on your newly acquired beach farm, it's gonna take you forever to get those 75 mussels. Also, when you put a fruit tree into seed maker, nothing happens. So it's not like you can grab an apple or pomegranate, load them into the seed maker, and get a sapling. You always have to purchase these from the store. So this is gonna actually take you forever to fully populate your farm with big orchard. I therefore suggest that this big part of the farm should be left out for farming, and I highly suggest that you go with starfruit. Starfruit will be your big money maker here. Since you will have access already to the desert oasis, you should not have any issues whatsoever to be able to plant the starfruit here, and it's gonna reach maturity. Now, if you are gonna try to make more money out of this farm, I suggest the use of a speed grow. The beautiful thing is that, especially since you can be bored on your farm during the winter season, or you don't want to participate in any of the events there, you have a massive new playground to work with, so that you will be able to expand your farming production and get money from farming, which will be fairly limited on your beach farm. Now I'm gonna create a video for you to let you know what kind of a layout you can estimate to gain or build on that farm, and it should be quite valuable information. So stick around to the channel, and I'm gonna try to make sure that I will have that content up and running. So we are gonna do this, marking down one, and it should perfectly accommodate the iridium sprinklers in here. Not really sure if this land will be able to be towed, but we can figure that out fairly quickly. So beautiful. If you decide to do the farming on this island, you will be able to grow a whole lot of crops. And I know that with the 1.5 update, actually what happened is that you don't need to have the cobble path placed here, because if you were to utilize the hoe, the sprinkler should remain in the soil. So this is a nice new feature. Before, what we had to do, the players, is put down like a cobble path underneath so that the sprinkler will not get knocked out. And this way you will be able to grow stupid amounts of crops. Also, my suggestion to grow another crop on this island is in relation to the ancient fruit. If you recall ancient fruit, this fruit will grow outside from spring till fall season. It takes a full season to fully mature before you get your hands on your first harvest. However, because it's gonna be eternal summer on this island, you never have to bother with actually having to collect or replant the ancient fruits after the winter season when the plants die out or wither due to weather conditions. This place will be sufficiently supplying you with plenty of ancient fruit and star fruit. So even with the fairly limited farming potential of the beach farm, you're gonna be able to make big money thanks to this small island. And I know it looks like it's not that big, but look at this. I have placed down only just 10 iridium quality sprinklers. I have not even occupied the entire land, and there is far more that can be done on here. I believe you should be able to squeeze in at least 10 additional sprinklers. So if we were to put here 20 iridium sprinklers and hold the entire land, utilizing it for grow of the star fruit and the ancient fruit, you're gonna be looking at one massive harvest of crops that are especially valuable when it comes to being turned into things like wine or jelly if you prefer the preserve jars. I actually made even a video specifying the fact that the preserve jar can create you much more money because it takes a whole less time to produce the items which you will get, such as jelly, and because you get far more batches throughout 1 year, it's gonna be much more profitable for you. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to return once more, and I'm gonna try to fill in this entire remaining place with more seeds so that I can have even bigger farm. And the coolest thing is that if you would have the taro root, which I of course dropped off because I'm a total idiot, you can plant it by the river where it will grow, or you can leave this remaining soil here for like your banana trees or your mangoes. I would suggest them to grow over here and utilize this soil for star fruit and ancient fruit. More specifically, you're gonna make so much money, and honestly, I don't even think the beach farm will have that many limitations. The problem which you will be facing is, of course, that the sprinklers do not work there, but that should not limit you. So I'm gonna try to come back here and show you when this is more done, or at least if I will be able to do so. Once again, I cannot use the mods and record them because I have fairly limited hardware. I'm currently in the middle of process of trying to build a computer, but if you know anything about acquiring certain PC components currently, it's a total freaking nightmare. So yeah, we're gonna see how that turns out, and I'll talk to you soon.
3 weeks later.
So for example, here we have a special case mentioning that actually the Fern Islands region will have even a rainy day, which can be really useful. But since the sprinklers do work there, I still am interested to see how it will change the look of the tropical islands. Ah, cool. At least I know I will be able to get more ancient fruit seeds. Lucky me. Well, I wanted to go there on a rainy day, but unfortunately, Willy still only changes the opening hours, not the closing hours. So getting the totem to the beach or the Ginger Island will be a crucial part, so I guess no rainy day. We're gonna go there tomorrow. Anyhow, it's a bit late anyway, so hopefully I will be able to at least get my hands on the return scepter in the meantime, and I'll talk to you once I deal with all these crab pods. Maybe I'll be able to come across some more mussels, because based on the research which I'm running here, it's starting to look like getting the mussels is gonna be much more difficult than originally expected. I mean, it's now becoming even a lesser drop or less common drop than the freaking lobster. Usually what I'm pulling out is shrimp or cackle or anything else, but not the damn mussels. So this is gonna be really interesting to see how the beach farm will eventually be able to provide the players with the accessibility to the mango tree, because I don't think there is a way for you as a player to kind of compensate for the mussels. That is, if you played like me, and that means no mods enabled. Otherwise, yeah, the biggest problem with, however, getting sufficient amount of crab pods established at your beach farm will be the stupid amount of money that you will need to invest into the overall operation, and that will be its downfall. By the time you will be able to come across 75 mussels, and having to keep in your mind that you cannot actually sell some of them, which is gonna... Well, if you want to go for the completionist run, of course, you're gonna be able to, like, sell one, right? But after that is done, you're gonna have to keep on your mind that the mussels will have to stay with you in order to be reserved for the use of creating or making or getting access to the fancy mango tree sapling. So yeah, fun stuff, fun stuff. Anyhow, let's go back to the farm. Hopefully I will be able to earn enough profit to be able to acquire the damn scepter, since it costs 2 million, and I'm gonna see how that will affect the farm overall. But yeah, I'll talk to you when we are back on the island. I just hope that, because I totally forgot to put down some scarecrows, it will not completely destroy my plants over there. It would really make me angry, because we are talking ancient fruit and we are also talking star fruit. And if people are gonna be planting corn and other stuff on that island, well, then they are seriously ruining their chances to make big money. And it's my personal opinion. So yeah, let's go sleep and see if I will be able to get that scepter. Okay, so I think we should be a-okay. Able to compensate for some of the losses here, which I'm fully making by selling a bunch of wine. And I see that my dear friend has finally escaped. I gotta tell you that after 700 hours, this was the first time I have had this on my farm finally appear. One of the really rare ones, so I was really happy to see it, and I'm kind of wondering how the heck did it not eat me while I was sleeping. But yeah, let's just head out to the farm or to the islands eventually and see what can be done there. We're gonna have to wait till 8 a.m. and we will see what I can do with the remaining soil left out. I'm gonna potentially try to grab the taro root, and I also picked up some pineapples and such, so I'm gonna try to grab those as well. And then later on we can take a look at, for example, the war memento and other features which were implemented with the 1.5 update of the game.
2 hours later.
So, at least we can take a look at the islands, how it looks like when it's raining. So, let's go back to the farm and see what's the damage like if I did not put in here any of the lovely scarecrows. Now, it looks like it's working so far. Unfortunately, there are some losses, so that's unfortunate. It's definitely gonna throw away or totally throw out the whole crop over here due to that one missing ancient fruit. But we should manage to do so. Also, what usually happens is that I tend to miss a tile or two when it comes to speed growth. So fun stuff tends to happen. Anyhow, I'm gonna speed up probably the footage for a bit and I'll talk to you once I'm done here. And there we go, making big money on the Ginger or Fern Islands. Now, I would strongly suggest for anyone who will get to this section of the world to not plant crops like corn and other stuff. Starfruit is the way to go. It should be accessible to you since you will already require access to the Skull Cavern, and Sandy at the Desert Oasis will be able to sell you the Starfruit seeds for quite the large chunk of change, but honestly the return value of this crop is truly amazing. So if I will see someone recommending you to plant, I don't know, like melons and other stuff like that, I would highly advise against it. you can do definitely better. And since this content or the update is more meant for the later stages of the game, it's probably gonna be better for you to invest it more wisely into, like I said, the starfruit, ancient fruit, or whatever else you want. But honestly, starfruit and ancient fruit should be your main priority. The ancient fruit will have the really great benefit of the fact that it takes a stupid amount of time for it to reach full maturity. So, as you can see, I was able to plant the taro root here, and it will reach its full maturity. I was able to squeeze in 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 iridium quality sprinklers, and I'm not even done. I'm quite sure I should be able to fit around 2 more at least here, or if you really want to go with trees, you can put them here. However, I would advise to plant the trees over here behind the bridge so that you are not limiting your space on the fairly limited farm space already that you gain access to. Also, if you are a sucker for punishment, you can of course expand the farming here, but I feel like that would kill the potential for the ginger roots to spawn in, and I would therefore advise against it. So the best potential location for you to put those trees is either here, here, or around the shoreline in case you don't want to go with a massive taro root crop. But that will be it for this video. Making big money on the Ginger Island. Is it possible? As you can see, obviously, eventually it will be. The beauty is, the earlier you gain access to this section of the world, and the sooner you start planting starfruit here and you build your obelisk, the faster you will be able to start making money of farming, because the limitations of the farm of Beach Island or the beach map is that you will be able to squeeze in the fairly limited farming tiles available to you 8 iridium quality sprinklers without this gap in between them. The spacing is 10 times 20, so that will be your limitation. Anyhow, if you did find this video entertaining and educational, and you were wondering what can be done on the Ginger Island, definitely hit the like button or let me know what you think about my idea of you growing ancient fruit non-stop or starfruit constantly, even throughout the winter season on this beautiful island, and I will see you in the comments or at the next one. I publish content on a weekly basis, so I will have always something fun for you. I do mostly playthroughs, I do discussions, I do early in-game reviews, I do tips and tricks videos like this one, so check out the channel, link will be in the description. I'm gonna wish you a pleasant holiday. May you spend it with your family and loved ones. Thank you for watching again. My name is Max. These are not your professional walkthroughs, and I'm gonna have to run back home so that I can make it there in time. Probably drink some coffee. It would be actually funny if I will find out that the ship has departed and it's gonna tell me that no, you can only use the ship until like 5 p.m. or something, because then that's the time at which Willie's shop is closed. Can we actually purchase something at 1 a.m. from Willie? Apparently we can. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Fun video, fun video.